Saving Private Ryan. God, what is there to say that hasn't already been said? Since there isn't really much of anything new to say, I guess we'll start with the basics. It's a harsh, brutal depiction of war starring Tom Hanks and directed by Steven Spielberg of E.T. and Jurassic Park fame. And it's even got a whole bunch of other actors in there like Matt Damon and Vin Diesel, who actually dies for once. Thank God. This movie also caused a bunch of World War II veterans to have fits of PTSD when they saw the opening scene at Omaha Beach, and one of them even noted that he could still smell the diesel from D-Day because the images were so shocking and so visceral and so real. People were brought back to that day. Bodies get thrown into the air like they're made of rags. People get torn apart by machine guns. Bodies pop like balloons. It would be comedic with how easily people die if it wasn't so goddamn depressing. Blood splatters onto the camera, audio cuts in and out as we, the audience, get waterlogged. The camera's constantly level with the characters, making it feel like you're in there with them. It's like you're one of them, and it makes you feel like you're there. It makes moments like this kid crying and trying to hide behind the hedgehog sympathetic rather than pathetic. You feel like you could be him instead of the heroes charging forward and saving the day. We see war crimes committed and just laughed off. We see horrendous damage done to both sides, and most importantly, we see the main cast's reaction to it all. Mellish cries after looting a Hitler Youth knife. Miller and Horvath cracking jokes and leading the men. Jackson praying, and so many other little details. Oh man, Jackson. I gotta talk about Jackson's last stand. Being the team's sniper, he was stationed in the bombed-out tower in the town with a machine gunner at his side for cover. After one of the tanks is disabled, the Germans are forced to advance without its cover for support. Jackson takes advantage of this and shoots the advancing enemies one by one as he prays for his shots to land and for God to protect him. Now, an attentive viewer might have noticed that the tank's gun wasn't disabled. Right at about the time that you might realize this, and what that could mean, Jackson sees the gun level at him in his scope. Fucking get out! His last words weren't even for himself. They were for his buddy. Jackson knew that he was probably going to die in that tower. So the prayer wasn't for him to survive. It was for him to hold out as long as possible. Whether or not that prayer is answered is kind of open for interpretation. On the one hand, we see that there are no more Germans in the scope. Perhaps God answered his prayer and then allowed for the consequences to play out. Or perhaps it was a cynical response from a godless universe. There is no God, you die, war is hell, see you next time, bitch. It's a subtle moment, but that openness to interpretation really lends to audience engagement, gripping the viewers and holding them in place, forcing them to participate in the chaos and carnage that is happening on screen. I wonder if they did this part on purpose. The soldier that stabs Mellish in the heart is not the prisoner from earlier in the movie, like most people seem to think on first viewing. He's actually SS. Yeah, no, seriously, check it out. His uniform is different, and there's, like, Schutzstaffel insignias on his collar. Unlike the prisoner, who wears a Wehrmacht uniform. However, as I said, most people, including myself, thought those were the same guy because they look so similar. Now I'm wondering if Spielberg or someone else did that on purpose, to have two similar-looking actors play different enemies, to make some kind of point about the uniformity of a soldier, how military life removes individuality, the hidden humanity of the enemy. I kind of doubt that, since this guy just stabbed Mellish in the heart, but maybe it is. Because the guy lets Upham go because Upham was too scared to stand up and to get involved in the fight. And so, seeing that Upham helped him, he helps Upham by letting him live. He just leaves him. So maybe it is a mark of his humanity, that he was only killing the guys that were shooting at him. It's hard to say. Oh, well, speaking of Upham, what a great character. I think he's a bit underrated, honestly. He's just a bit of a nervous dipshit, in a way. He's way in over his head, and he's sent on this suicide mission with hardened veterans because he just happened to have a skill that they could use. You sort of hate him for being a coward and an idiot, but you can't really blame him. This wasn't his assignment. He got roped into it. Even so, he clearly still wanted to help. He wanted to do right by his comrades. He wanted to do his part and fulfill his duty. But his weakness prevented him from being a proper hero, so to speak. And this, ironically, may have saved his life. It's even more unfortunate that his response to his failures to make up for it by killing a POW that returned to the German army rather than running into Allied hands. Upham's story is an underappreciated tragedy, and I say underappreciated because so many people get angry with his failure, and they cheer for the murder that he commits. He's just a normal guy. He shouldn't be there, but he is. And that's the tragedy.
Upham!
And I guess the same could be said for the prisoner he shot. Hell, it's even the case for our hero, quote-unquote, Captain Miller. He's just a teacher. His job went from educating the youth and giving them the tools to thrive in the modern world to leading young men to fight and die an entire ocean away. But at least his experience in life gave him the tools to be where he is. He leads his men with a level of confidence and control, even wisdom, but that doesn't preclude him from getting angry, impatient, or having doubts.
Maybe you should shut up!
No. No, I won't shut up. His men may live under his order, but they also die under his orders. An inevitability in war, but it's something that he has to wrestle with, and Tom Hanks does a fantastic job portraying that. Now for some of the negatives. Let's be honest, the movie does not work logistically. Sending an entire squad to pick up a low-ranking soldier behind enemy lines because they feel bad for him losing all three of his brothers, that's just silly. They even lampshade the issue in the film twice. But the movie manages to salvage it by having a strong sense of thematics regarding the plot and focusing on the sacrifices made and the people's reactions to them, both heartfelt and jaded. Alright, I'd love to talk more, but I'm on a bit of a time limit. I've got a family to take care of, stories to write, and a channel to grow. So, if you liked the video, leave a like. I'll be doing more of these with some gaming clips in between. I usually upload Saturdays, so hit subscribe with the bell and all that if you want to see more. Let me know what you think of the movie or give suggestions in the comments below. I've got that Arcane deep dive coming. I don't think I could get it out before Season 2 comes out, but, you know, if this video gets a certain response, then I'll try and hyper-focus that. I don't know, like, let's hit 50 likes or something, and I'll hyper-focus the Arcane review. I hate doing all that, please put me on the algorithm stuff, but it works. It's literally scientifically proven to work. Anyway, I think that's all I've got for now, so I'll see you in the next one. I love you guys, stay strong, stay safe, and have a good night. Bye-bye!
Thank you so much for coming. It's been a wonderful evening.